the X-ray film. On the left side, is it clear to you?
Yes, sir.
So on the left side, what you have seen, anyone can read the X-ray, left side X-ray? What is the X-ray findings? This
Sir,
one.
sir,
Yes.
this is the X-ray of the abdomen, erect posture, anterior posture view with the diaphragm, showing
Yes.
these are air fluid level, sir, central air fluid level,
Yes.
and step leader pattern, sir.
Septal very good.
Sir.
So,
So this is the uh,
okay.
intestinal
So
obstruction, sir.
this is the
Small intestinal obstruction.
plain X-ray abdomen, erect posture, AP view, including both the diaphragm, showing multiple free gas fluid level placed centrally in a step ladder fashion. So, what is the diagnosis?
Sir, acute small intestine obstruction, sir.
Small intestinal obstruction. Usually, it is the proximal small intestinal obstruction. Why? Why not? Uh, what are the points in favor of small intestinal obstruction?
স্যার এখানে ফেভারে স্যার এটা সেন্ট্রালি আছে স্যার এত মাল্টিপল সেন্ট্রালি আছে এন্ড স্টেপ লিডার প্যাটার্ন আছে স্যার আর লার্জ কার অবস্ট্রাকশন হলে পেরিফেরালি থাকতো স্যার
So, centrally placed multiple gas field level, step ladder pattern. And the most significant is the bulbul conimentis, the mucosal fold. There are numerous mucosal fold. That is called bulbul conimentis. Numerous mucosal fold. That is called bulbul conimentis. There is place. There is complete mucosal fold, and it is the mucosal fold that is complete. In case of large bowel obstruction, there is hostile fold. There is an incomplete mucosal fold. So these are the two important things. First of all, it is the place centrally placed, and in case of large bowel obstruction, it is peripherally placed. Like this, like this one, peripheral place. Though it is not a gas fluid level, but it is dilated bile loops. In case of large bowel obstruction, it is peripherally placed, and it is a incomplete hostile fold. You have seen there is a incomplete hostile fold. That is mucosal fold incomplete. So, in case of large bowel obstruction, multiple fluid graceful level placed peripherally, and hostile fold is incomplete fold. So this is intestinal obstruction, small intestinal obstruction. So now come to the points. What are the important causes of intestinal obstruction?
স্যার there are dynamic and adynamic স্যার
Yes.
ডাইনামিকের মধ্যে ইন দা লুমেনে থাকবে স্যার বুলাস থাকবে বুলাস অফ ওয়ার্ম বিজার
Could
স্যার
you please could you please tell your name? Could you please
স্যার সিয়াম হোসেন
Siam, good Siam, yes, fine. So there are
স্যার
uh,
গল স্টোন স্যার ফরেন বডি
mm, yes.
স্যার and in the lumen স্যার স্ট্রাকচার থাকতে পারে স্ট্রাকচার and
No, no,
কার্সিনোমা
no, no,
স্যার
no, no, no.
নিউপ্লাজম
You mentioned that lumen. In the lumen, there is fecal matter, foreign body, bezoars, gallstone, and
স্যার
worm.
in the wall হ্যাঁ স্যার
Wall,
ওয়ালে
yes.
স্যার স্ট্রাকচার থাকতে পারে
Yeah,
স্ট্রাকচার and the নিউপ্লাজম
either stricture due to tuberculosis or inflammatory bowel disease like ulcerative colitis, Crohn's stricture, and malignancy. And
and
other
স্যার
thing,
outside the band and adhesion থাকতে পারে স্যার
ventilation and Most important cause of
Sir,
internal obstruction in our country?
Hernia.
band and adhesion.
Hernia. It is a hernia. Ventilation, okay, it's also less common, but the most common cause of the intestinal obstruction, uh, possibly in our in third world country, hernia. So, and other than there may be volvulus, intersusception. This may also cause intestinal obstruction, volvulus, intersusception, and aerodynamic cause like
Paralytic ileus, sir.
paralytic ileus and pseudo obstruction. What is the difference between aerodynamic and dynamic obstruction?
স্যার ডায়নামিকে স্যার একটা স্যার পেরিস্টালসিসটা থাকবে স্যার এবং পেরিস্টালসিস থাকবে এগেনস্ট মেকানিক্যাল অবস্ট্রাকশন এন্ড এ ডায়নামিকে স্যার পেরিস্টালসিসটা থাকবে না স্যার
Usually, there is in aerodynamic obstruction there is inadequate peristalsis or absent peristalsis, and there is no mechanical obstruction. So, uh, these are the causes of intestinal obstruction. So now come to the points. What are the cardinal feature of intestinal obstruction?
স্যার কার্ডিনাল ফিচার স্যার পেইন থাকবে সাডেন পেইন থাকবে দেন ডিস্টেনশন থাকবে ভমিটিং থাকবে এন্ড কনস্টিপেশন
Yes. So these are the four cardinal feature: abdominal pain, vomiting, constipation, and distension. So, what are the how important presence of small bowel obstruction?
স্যার স্মল ভায়োলেন্ট স্যার পেইনটা থাকবে স্যার সেন্ট্রালি পেইন থাকবে স্যার স্মল
Central pain.
ভায়োলেন্ট হ্যাঁ স্যার সেন্ট্রালি এন্ড ভমিটিংটা স্যার সিভিয়ার ভমিটিং থাকবে স্যার
Okay.
স্মল
For,
ভায়োলেন্ট
okay. This is not
স্যার
severe. This is called
কোপিয়াস
profuse vomiting. Profuse.
স্যার প্রফিউজ ভমিটিং থাকবে এবং স্যার স্যার ডিস্টেনশন থাকবে সেন্ট্রালি
Okay.
ডিস্টেনশন
Okay. Okay.
এন্ড কনস্টিপেশন স্যার সিম্পল কনস্টিপেশন থাকবে স্যার
Okay. Simple constipation বলে কোনো শব্দ নাই. It is not a constipation. Is a so in case of small bowel obstruction, if in case of proximal small bowel obstruction, in case of proximal small bowel obstruction, vomiting is the main feature. In case of proximal small bowel obstruction, vomiting is the main feature. But in case of distal small bowel obstruction, the central abdominal pain is the main feature. Okay. In case of large bowel obstruction, the most prominent feature is abdominal distension, as well as constipation. But the main predominant feature in case of small bowel obstruction, proximal small bowel, profuse vomiting. In case of distal small bowel, there is a central abdominal pain. In case of large bowel obstruction, there is a abdominal distension with constipation. So, these are the cardinal feature of intestinal obstruction. Along with feature of a late feature, patient may present a feature of shock. Patient may present a feature of complication like diffuse peritonitis. In late stage, patient may present a multi-organ failure even. Okay. So, our next, what are the types of intestinal obstruction?
দ্য টাইপস এর মধ্যে স্যার
Okay, Siam. I'm requesting you other student.
So dynamic and adynamic obstruction.
Yes, okay. According to peristalsis, there is a dynamic and a dynamic. According to cyto obstruction, there is a small bowel and a large bowel obstruction. According to mode of onset, according to mode of onset, acute and chronic. Acute and chronic intestinal obstruction. What are the difference between acute and chronic intestinal obstruction? what are the difference between acute and chronic intestinal obstruction? So acute intestinal obstruction is a sudden onset, and chronic intestinal obstruction is the insidious onset, long history. Acute, short history, immediate, sudden onset, sudden severe pain. Chronic is a chronic obstruction. In acute obstruction, there is a absolute constipation. That is, no passes of flatter than even no passes of flatter than feces. But in case of chronic intestinal obstruction, there may be either passes of flatter than even feces. So acute means all the four cardinal features of intestinal obstruction must present. There is absolute constipation, no passes of flatter than even feces. But in case of chronic intestinal obstruction, there are passes of flatter or even feces. And so, what are the how a patient develops electrolyte imbalance in case of intestinal obstruction? What are the causes of what are the mechanism that leads to dehydration and electrolyte imbalance in patient with intestinal obstruction?
So due to vomiting and third space fluid loss.
Okay, there is a as patient has vomited, there is a loss of third space. And other than what is the other mechanism that there is patient due to intestinal obstruction, there is a impaired absorption of the
Impaired absorption of fluids.
impaired absorption of the fluid, and there is a reduced intake, and there is a sequestration of the fluid into the bile lumen, as well as transudation of the fluid into the peritoneal cavity. So all may are predisposed to dehydration and electrolyte imbalance. So reduced intake, impaired absorption, loss due to vomiting, sequestration into the bowel lumen, and transmission of fluid into the peritoneal cavity. So next question is, what is the initial what are the initial management of intestinal obstruction? Immediate management. What is the immediate management of intestinal obstruction?
Sir, nothing by mouth. তারপরে স্যার ফ্লুইড এন্ড ইলেকট্রোলাইট রিপ্লেসমেন্ট, তারপরে ইন্টারভেনাস অ্যান্টিবায়োটিক্স, আর হচ্ছে স্যার যে কজ অফ দা অবস্ট্রাকশন সেটা আমরা সার্জিক্যালি করব।
So our initial management is the initial resuscitation, immediate resuscitation of patient. After reaching the patient, we keep the patient nil par orally. There, number two, the most immediate nasogastric decompression by putting the whiteboard nasogastric suction. Then, starting a patient has loss of the fluid and electrolyte imbalance, there is a starting of the intravenous fluid in the form of crystalline solution. Initially, crystalline solution like Hartmann solution, choice of fluid. So, establishment of the IV fluid by crystalline solution, usually Hartmann solution. Then prospective IV antibiotic, both that cover the gram-positive as well negative organism. Then maintaining fluid and electrolyte imbalance, and monitoring of the vital sign, pulse, BP, temperature, urine output. And this is the immediate management. And subsequent management according to then after that, if patient doesn't respond, or if patient develops, if patient fails to improve, or if patient develops strangulation, or if there is obvious pathology, in that case we go for a surgical intervention. So initial management is the immediate resuscitation, followed by definite treatment according to cause. If patient responds, no need for surgery. If patient does not respond, if patient condition deteriorates, if patient develops strangulation, if there is obvious mechanical cause like growth or any volvulus or intersuspension, in that case, we go for surgical intervention. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So how can you recognize the patient develop strangulation? So what are the features of strangulation?
Sir, constant pain or severe pain, tenderness with rigidity and sign of the peritonism, and shock may develop.
Yes. So if you see patient has got constant severe pain, usually there is colicky pain. Usually there is a colicky pain in distal obstruction initially, followed by constant dilating pain. But in case strangulation, there is constant severe pain, and there are presence of features of shock, like hypotension. Patient may develop tachycardia, reduced urinary output, there is pyrexia, and the most important is the feature of peritonitis. There is the tenderness, rebound tenderness with rigidity. Tenderness, rebound tenderness with rigidity. So these are all features of strangulation. So if you suspect there is strangulation, no need for conservative surgery. No need for conservative management. Straight go for surgery if you suspect there is strangulation. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
So in case of there is some important, in case of initial obstruction, usually there is constipation. Initial obstruction, usually there is constipation, but there are some condition that leads to initial obstruction without constipation. Initial obstruction without constipation, like what are the condition that may lead to initial obstruction without constipation? Anyone? We already mentioned that in case of intestinal obstruction there is a constipation, but in some condition there is intestinal obstruction without constipation. So what are the condition? Anyone? So there are some exceptions like Goldstone ileus, mesenteric vascular ischemia, functional obstruction with pelvic abscess. In that condition, patient develop intestinal obstruction without constipation.
Sir, could you repeat again?
Yes. We already mentioned that in case of intestinal obstruction, patient usually develop constipation, but there are some conditions that leads to intestinal obstruction without constipation, like Goldstone ileus. Goldstone ileus, mesenteric vascular occlusion, functional obstruction with pelvic abscess. These are the examples. So the most sensitive investigation for intestinal obstruction initially is the Prenexia abdomen. Prenexia abdomen is the initial investigation of choice for detection of the intestinal obstruction or the small or large bowel obstruction. But in case of strangulation, if you suspect, the choice of investigation is CT scan of the abdomen. If you suspect strangulation, the choice of investigation is CT scan of the abdomen. This is for Viva or exam. So next,
স্যার একটা কোয়েশ্চেন ছিল।
yes.
স্যার ইন্টেস্টিনাল অবস্ট্রাকশনে স্যার থার্ড স্পেসে ফ্লুইড সিকুয়েস্ট্রেশন কেন হয়?
হ্যাঁ বলো।
Sir, intestinal obstruction है sir, third space এ fluid sequestration কেন হয়?
ইন্ডাকশন অপশনে কি হচ্ছে? What are the pathophysiological change in the intestinal obstruction? There is a
Failure of
bile, there is a failure. There is a failure of absorption of the fluid, absorption of the fluid by intestine. So there is a exudative. So there is a third space loss. There is failure of absorption. So there is a loss of fluid into the third space. That is the extracellular space, and that may lead to fluid sequestration into the peritoneal cavity also. So next, is it clear?
yes sir, clear.
So no, most important thing is the, if you so after initial resuscitation, if you see the if you see the, if patient develops strangulation, or if patient does not respond in conservative treatment, so in that case you can go for surgical intervention. So what are incision choice incision for that case? What type of incision you prefer for surgical intervention in case of intestinal obstruction?
Midline incision sir.
Yes. So you can access the peritoneal cavity by midline incision. Is the emergency surgery for midline incision the prefer, easily accessible, so less time consuming, so midline incision. After that, after entering the peritoneal cavity, how you assess the viability of the bile? How can you say that this intestine is the viable or non-viable?
Sir, by
Sir-
observing the bowel sir.
By
Sir,
yes.
Sir, if it is viable, then it will be light
Sir-
color. If it is non-viable, it will be dark color, sir.
case
So, okay, color, blackish coloration of the intestine. Then
Sir, if it is viable, it will be shiny, and if it's non-viable, it will be dull and lusterless.
yes, dull and lusterless. Next,
Then, if it is viable, then it will be
Domestic
fine,
fan. In case non-viable, it is flabby.
fluffy and thin, sir.
There
Peristalsis can be observed, sir. Viable.
There is peristaltic movement of the bile if it is viable. If non-viable, no peristalsis. And another important thing, if you pick the mesenteric, there is a bleeding from the mesenteric vessels. In case of the viable guide, mesentery bleeds on peak. So these are the assessment of the gut viability of gut during surgery. If you suspect that gut is not viable, so you have to remove this part of the intestine. So it is important for assessment of the viability during surgery. So next slide. There are two slides. Number one, what is the imaging and what is the radiological findings? So this is barium enema. So this is the barium enema. So this is the contrast X-ray. This is the barium enema. Barium
enema, sir.
enema, barium enema extra the large intestine. So what is the positive findings? you have seen there is a
Multiple filling defects.
contrast. Yes, there is a filling defect. Very good, filling defect with apple core deformity. There is a filling defect with apple core deformity. This is there is a filling defect with apple core deformity. Okay, see this. There is a filling defect in the part of the large intestine. There is a obvious filling defect, and this is the typical called apple core deformity. So, what is your radiological diagnosis? So, what is your radiological diagnosis?
Colonic growth.
Yes. So, this is the colonic malignancy. So, how can you confirm your diagnosis?
Colonoscopy.
Colonoscopy
With biopsies.
with biopsy. Colonoscopy with biopsy. So, what is the histological diagnosis?
Adenocarcinoma.
Yes. So, it is the adenocarcinoma. And what are other information you have to know from the histology? So, tissue diagnosis, first of all, adenocarcinoma, then
That's a degree of differentiation.
yes. So, this is called grading. So, first of all, tissue diagnosis, most of the colonic malignancy are adenocarcinoma. And the degree of differentiation, that is the grading of the malignancy. Or it is well differentiated, moderately differentiated, or poorly differentiated. There is the prognostic value. Huh? Bolo? So, what is the significance of grading? What is the importance of grading?
Whether the tumor is aggressive or not, sir, we can.
Yes. So it has got prognostic value. It has got prognostic value. If tumor is well differentiated, prognosis is good. If tumor is poorly differentiated, prognosis is bad. It has got prognostic value. So from the histopathology, we know the tissue diagnosis as well as grading of the malignancy. So, our next question: what are the types of colonic malignancy? Malignant tumor. What is the malignant tumor of the large bowel? Bolo. What are the large intestinal malignant tumor?
So, adenocarcinoma.
Yes. Number one, carcinoma. Most of them are adenocarcinoma. Number two. Next.
Primary mucoid carcinoma.
Okay, these are histological variety of the adenocarcinoma, but other than adenocarcinoma, what are the other malignant tumor of the large intestine?
Squamous cell carcinoma.
Rarely squamous cell carcinoma. Rare. Then, most important other than carcinoma is the lymphoma. And most of them are known. Bolo?
Carcinoid tumor.
Okay, carcinoid tumor also, but second most is the non-Hodgkin lymphoma. Then carcinoid tumor, and it may be malignant GIST, gastrointestinal stromal tumor. Malignant GIST, gastrointestinal stromal tumor. Clear? So, these are the most common malignant tumor, the large intestine. Most common is the carcinoma, then lymphoma, carcinoid tumor, and GIST, malignant GIST. So what are the risk factors for colonic malignancy? What are the risk factors for development of carcinoma colon?
So inflammatory bowel disease, then family history, then some
Family history.
genetic syndromes such as Lynch syndrome, familial adenomatous polyposis syndrome, Gardner syndrome.
Gardner syndrome. So there are some risk factors like dietary factor. So Western diet is the risk factor for development of red meat. Western diet is the risk factor for development of colonic carcinoma. Diet containing low residual fiber, the risk factor for colonic carcinoma. Obesity also a risk factor. Then inflammatory bowel disease. Then some genetic syndrome, familial adenomatous polyposis coli, HNPCC. What is HNPCC? What do you mean by HNPCC?
Hereditary non-polyposis colon cancer syndrome.
Yes. Hereditary non-polyposis colorectal cancer syndrome. And what is FAP?
So familial adenomatous polyposis.
Familial adenopolyposis. So how many numbers of polyp in the FAP? There must be more than 100 polyp. More than 100 polyp. FAP. Familial adenomatous polyposis coli. It is the more than 100 polyp must be present throughout the large intestine. And it is a 100% risk for development carcinoma, colonic carcinoma, FAP. 100% of development of colonic carcinoma in case of FAP. So it needs regular screening of the patient, family surveillance. So now come to the, so what are the presentation of colonic malignancy? Next question. What are the usual presentation of colonic carcinoma?
So painless pararectal bleeding, tenesmus, altered bowel habit.
Okay. These are the
early
features.
morning
So,
furious diarrhea.
these are the features of,
There may be weight losses late.
so these are the feature of carcinoma rectum carcinoma. But uh, uh, regarding colonic malignancy, either right colon or left colon, there are some typical features of the right colon and left colon. How a patient actually, what are the presence of right sided colonic carcinoma? There are some.
Unexplained anemia.
Yes. This is the unexplained anemia. Most important. Number
Lump.
2, then
May present with lump.
maybe the right iliac fossa lump. Number 3, then may present with lump, right iliac fossa mass. May present with feature of metastasis like bone pain, jaundice, hemoptysis, cough, chest pain. May present with feature of advanced malignancy like anemia, anexia, and weight loss. So the most important feature is the right sided colon means the unexplained anemia with right iliac fossa mass. And what is the presentation of left colonic sided colonic malignancy, colonic carcinoma?
Alteration of bowel habit.
Yes. That is the alteration of the bile habit in the form of constipation. Then,
Pararectal bleeding.
yes, okay, parietal bleeding. And there is a
Tenesmus.
patient may present with intestinal obstruction. Usually, large left side colonic carcinoma may present with intestinal obstruction. As most of the left side colonic malignancy are annular type, annular variety. So there is a ring-like lesion that occludes the lumen and it causes the intestinal obstruction. So obstructing feature is the most prominent feature in case of left colonic carcinoma, like constipation, intestinal abdominal distension, along with alteration of bile limit and parietal bleeding. And patient may present with also mass in the left eye fossa or even hypoglycemia. So left eye coronary carcinoma easily present with obstructive feature. Clear? Carcinoma rectum easily present with fresh parietal bleeding, fresh bright red parietal bleeding with tense mass, aluminum diarrhea. So what is tense mass? Tense mass.
Is the sensation of needing to evacuate, but the rectum is unable to pass a motion.
Okay. So it is okay, good, very good. It's the painful straining to empty the bowel without resultant evacuation. So patient has repeated tendency to empty the bowel, and he used to go to toilet, but only passes slight amount of flatter than feces. This is the tenus mass. So it's the feature of carcinoma rectum. The most important one is if you summarize how a patient with carcinoma rectum present, the most important is the parietal bleeding, bright red parietal bleeding, along with tenus mass, aluminum diarrhea, alteration of bile habit.
Sir, early morning diarrhea টা কি স্যার normal diarrhea নাকি bloody diarrhea হবে?
Aluminum diarrhea it is easily the spurious diarrhea, it is false diarrhea. It is easily spurious diarrhea, there is a false diarrhea. Usually carcinoma of the ampulla, rectum ampulla, the most dilated part of the rectum, that is called ampulla. If growth in the ampulla of the rectum, there is echoes the mucus, and in the early morning, patient is to go to toilet, but only passes slight amount of the flatters with mucus. So it is called spurious diarrhea, false diarrhea. There is the early morning diarrhea. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So early morning diarrhea is the features of carcinoma lower end of the rectum. Lower end of the rectum, there is the ampulla of the rectum ampulla. So if you think the growth in the right colon, left colon, or in the rectum, so colonoscopy is the confirmatory test for diagnosis as well as for further management purpose. So colonoscopy with multiple biopsy in case of colonic malignancy. In case of rectum carcinoma, you can go for a proctosigmoidoscopy with biopsy.
Sir, how many biopsies should we take?
So it is the regarding carcinoma of the stomach, easily we take 6 to 10 biopsies. But in case of colonic malignancy, carcinoma colon, there is no thumb rule for number of biopsy, but at least you have to take sufficient tissue from the growth to avoid. You have to avoid the necrotic area, answer area. So in case of colonic malignancy, number should not mention, but you have to take sufficient sample for your confirmation of diagnosis. But in like carcinoma of stomach, you have to take 6 to 10 biopsy. But here number is not mentioned, but you have to take sufficient tissue. If you take even single sufficient tissue, that is enough. If you take representative tissue, it is very enough for diagnosis. But in case of carcinoma of stomach, it is not sufficient. There may be a chance of the false diagnosis. There is chance of missing of the tissue. So So what is your, so how can you treat a patient in right-sided colonic carcinoma? What is your treatment for right-sided colonic malignancy? Treatment option for right-sided colonic carcinoma. For colonic malignancy.
Hemicolectomy.
Yes. For right-sided colonic carcinoma, right hemicolectomy. For left colonic carcinoma is the left hemicolectomy. For carcinoma colon, right-sided colon, treatment is the right hemicolectomy. Carcinoma left colon, treatment is the left hemicolectomy. Carcinoma rectum, treatment depends on site of the growth. If it is the upper part of the rectum, it is the anterior resection. If growth is in the lower part, or if sphincter is involved, in that case, we can go for APER. Clear?
স্যার আরেকবার একটু বললে ভালো হতো ট্রিটমেন্টটা।
So, treatment of right-sided colonic malignancy is the right hemicolectomy. Treatment of left-sided colonic tumor is the left hemicolectomy. And treatment of the rectum, if it is in the upper rectum, it is the anterior resection. With or without covering ileostomy. If it goes in the lower rectum, and if sphincter is involved, in that case, we can go for APER with permanent colostomy. Now it is clear.
জি স্যার, থ্যাংক ইউ।
So these are the curative treatment. These are the curative treatment. And if growth is not resectable, you can, in that case, you can go for palliative bypass. For right-sided colonic carcinoma, you can go for ileotransplant bypass. For left-sided colonic carcinoma, usually we can either ileostomy or even colocolic anastomosis. For a carcinoma rectum, palliative colostomy, sigmoid loop colostomy, palliative colostomy. Hello? So is it clear to you? Hello?
Yes, sir.
পরে আচ্ছা, তো তোমরা, so you can understand. So now I go to our next slide. So what you have seen in the slide? What is the X-ray and what is the findings? বলো। So what you can see, contrast X-ray view. You have seen, it is the eye view, intravenous urography. So what you have seen in that X-ray? On the right side, there is a dilated pelvic calyceal system. On the left side, there is normal pelvic system, but in the right side, there is dilated pelvic system. Also dilated left part of the left ureter. So this is the intervenous urography showing dilated pelvic calycia. So what is the diagnosis? So it is called
Renal calculus.
it is the hydronephrosis. The hydronephrosis. It is the hydronephrosis. So what is hydronephrosis? It is the dilation of pelvic calycia system due to obstruction to the outflow of the urine. It is a partial or intermittent obstruction to the outflow of the urine. That is called hydronephrosis. So, what are the radiological features in favor of hydronephrosis? Look at this X-ray. What have you seen in the X-ray? In the X-ray, right side there is dilated pelvis and as well as calyces. Clear? If you look on the left side, you have seen there is a normal pelvis and calyx, but on the right side there is a dilated pelvis with calyces. Hello? No. একটু পরে ফোন দেন, একটু পরে 10 মিনিট পরে ক্লাস নেই 10 মিনিট পরে। হ্যাঁ বলো। So on the right side there is a dilated pelvis calyceal system. On the left side it is normal and dye easily pass into the bladder. So this is called hydronephrosis. There is a dilated pelvic system and loss of the cupping of the minor calyx, and it become club shape. This is the club shape calyces. There is a loss of cupping of the minor calyx and it become club shape. This is called hydronephrosis. So, what are the causes of hydronephrosis? Bolo. It is the rhizoid hydronephrosis. So, what are the causes of hydronephrosis?
Sir, ureteric stone, ureteric stricture,
On the
benign enlargement of the prostate, and malignancy involved in the urinary tract.
So, hydronephrosis may be unilateral or it may be bilateral. So, in case of unilateral hydronephrosis, there are some important cause. Some important cause, there is a congenital cause. And among the most important is the congenital POG obstruction. For unilateral hydronephrosis, the most important cause is the congenital POG obstruction. And other than, there may be ureterocele, peptocable ureter, congenital ureteric stenosis. But the most important acquired cause is the stone disease. But the most important acquired cause of unilateral hydronephrosis is the stone disease. And other than, it may be due to inflammatory stricture, due to tuberculosis, post-operative stricture. It may be due to transitional cell carcinoma of the renal pelvis or the ureter. And in some cases, it may be due to obstruction of the ureter secondary to the some malignancy like carcinoma cervix, rectum, colon, and uterus. These are the important causes of unilateral hydronephrosis. So is it clear to you? So go through book and you can got it. So what are the causes of bilateral hydronephrosis? Bilateral hydronephrosis, most common cause is the, it may be congenital
BPH.
important cause. Bolo bolo.
BPH, sir, acquired.
Acquired BPH,
Urethral stone.
stricture urethra, carcinoma prostate, bladder neck stricture, bilateral uterine stone. These are the acquired cause of the bilateral hydronephrosis. Stricture urethra, carcinoma prostate, benign aneurysm prostate, bladder neck stricture, bilateral uterine stone. But the most important cause, congenital cause is the posterior valve. Usually it is the children. Posterior valve is the important cause of the bilateral hydronephrosis in case of children. So what is the treatment of hydronephrosis? It is a treatment of cause. So what is the treatment of hydronephrosis? It is a treatment of cause. Treatment of cause. If in case of stone, it is treatment of removal of stone. Even if due to the prostate, carcinoma prostate, the treatment is the prostatectomy. In case of stricture urethra, in case of it is the treatment of stricture. In case of the conjugal pH obstruction, treatment is the Anderson-Hines pyeloplasty. So, if you go through book, textbook of surgery, Bailey Lab, you'll get the answer. Okay. So, is it difficult for you? So, can you hear me? শুনতে পাচ্ছ?
জি স্যার শোনা যাচ্ছে।
Yes,
So
sir,
it is
শোনা
difficult.
যায়।
So, is it difficult? Difficult.
A bit, sir.
So, if you go through a book in the textbook of Bailey Lab, it is well written in your textbook, and it will get your answer, got answer from the textbook. So now our next slide, the most important is, so what you have seen in the X-ray, bolo? আমি বলতে tired, বলো তুমি বলো। What you have seen in the X-ray? বলো রে বলো। নবীন বলো, নবীন বলো। নবীন বলো, অমিত বলো, একজন বলো। সিম্পল X-ray বলো, লেখা আছে তো।
So this is
Radio opaque shadow at left renal region.
So this is a plain X-ray of the KUV. Plain X-ray of the KUV showing what? বলো।
Radio opaque shadow at
আছে।
left renal region.
Showing radio pop shadow in the left renal region. So what is the diagnosis?
Renal stone.
Let's say renal stone. So left side renal stone. So what are the causes of stone formation? What are the mechanism of stone formation? বলো।
Sir, hyperparathyroidism, gout, milk alkali syndrome,
It's a rare cause.
sarcoidosis,
These are the-
UTI by
These are the causes of hypercalcemia. Okay, that may lead to hypercalcemia and calcific stone. So these are the causes of hypercalcemia.
and
hypertension.
infection by the urease producing organism.
Yes, yes. Bola infection. Okay, good. Infection is the infection. Then
deficiency of vitamin.
deficiency of vitamin A, special vitamin A. That leads to epithelial disformation and that actually needs for stone formation. Then
Prolonged immobilization.
prolonged immobilization. Yes. There is a
Dehydration.
dehydration. Yes.
Hyperuricemia.
Hyperuricemia. This is gout. Hyperparathyroidism. That leads to calcific deposit. So these are the mechanism of stone formation. So how a patient present to you? How a patient present to you?
Renal colics. Loin to
Hematuria.
Fixed loin pain.
Yes. So
Hematuria.
pain is the most pain. Loin pain. Then patient may present with hematuria. Patient may present with fever, feature ETI, high fever, chills and rigors. And present feature complication like hydronephrosis, pyelonephrosis, even perinephric abscess. In case of bilateral stone, patient may present with chronic renal failure. Clear? So these are the clinical presentation. So what are the other investigation for the stone before surgery? What are the other yes?
Ultrasonography of kidney, ureter, and bladder.
Ultrasonography of the cavity region to see the size of the size of the stone, size of the stone. Ultrasonography of the cavity region to see the size of the stone, number of the stone, location of the stone, condition of the both kidney, parenchymal status of the both kidney, and what are other investigation to see the function and status of the both kidney. Other investigation in that
Serum
case, we go
creatinine.
for
DTPS
Okay.
scan.
so serum creatinine, and then some other investigation like IBU, intravenous urograph, to see the functional status of the both kidney. Or nowadays CT urograph is done. So in undergraduate level, the best answer is the after penetrating KOB, you can go for ultrasound of the KOB region to see the size of the stone, height of the stone, number of the stone, condition of the parenchyma of the kidney, and after that go for intravenous urography to see the functional status of the both kidney. And in some cases, in case of bilateral stone, and in case go for even to see the isotope to see the split function of the both kidney, isotope. And some biochemical emission like blood urea creatinine, serum electrolyte, and routine urine examination, complete blood count, etc., etc. So, what is the treatment option for that stone disease? It's a large stone. So, what are treatment option for the stone?
এটা সাইজের উপর ডিপেন্ড করে স্যার।
This is a large stone. I have already mentioned. It's a large stone. So, what is treatment option for that stone? Regarding this stone, what is the treatment plan of treatment?
PCNL.
স্যার পাইলোলিথোটমি, এক্সটেন্ডেড পাইলোলিথোটমি, নেফ্রোলিথোটমি।
Yes. So, some conventional open technique and nowadays minimally invasive
পারকিউটেনিয়াস নেফ্রোলিথোটমি।
PCNL. So it is large stone. If it is large stone, if facility is available, you can go for best is the PCNL. And If size is less than 2 centimeter, you can go for ESWL. So in the stone, PCL is the best treatment option for the stone disease if facility is available. So this is the minimally invasive technique without doing open surgery. And if there is no facility in for minimally invasive surgery, in that case you can go for open surgery like pyelolithotomy, extended pyelolithotomy, even nephrolethotomy. Clear? ঠিক আছে? বলো কার কোয়েশ্চেন আছে? তোমার কোনো কোয়েশ্চেন আছে বলো?
স্যার মেডিকেল এক্সপালসিভ থেরাপিটা নিয়ে যদি একটু বলতেন স্যার।
This is the for that stone disease, no need for medical expectant treatment. That is the if you think that stone is size is small, is less than 5 centimeter, so less than 5 millimeter, no symptom, no impairment renal function, no feature of ETI. In that case, you can go for a expected treatment. You can go for a watchful waiting by ratio of the patient, plenty of fluid intake, avoid diet, milk containing diet, plenty of fluid intake. So these are the expected treatment for small stone, and serial imaging to see the progress of the stone. So this is the expected treatment for small stone. Okay, is it clear?
জি স্যার। স্যার মেডিকেল এক্সপালসিভ থেরাপিতে আলফা ব্লকার যেমন টেমসুলোসিন কেন ইউজ করা হয়?
আলফা ব্লকার আমরা দেশাল তো স্মুথ মাসেল রিল্যাক্সেন্ট চাই, বুঝছো? স্মুথ মাসেল রিল্যাক্সেন্ট, there is a smooth muscle in the blood in the bladder neck area. So there is a relaxation of smooth muscle and there is a free flow of the urine. So in that case, is basically a small stone close to the basic urethral junction. In that case, we can prefer alpha blocker. Is there? It causes a relaxation of smooth muscle. So it is not a definitive treatment. It is the additional treatment. Okay.
জি স্যার।
Alpha blocker has got no role in the treatment of the stone disease. So any question? So our next slide. Important one is the what you see in the X-ray. Bolo. What is the X-ray findings? Naveen bolo, Naveen. Naveen bolo. Naveen Mahmood Khan, nahi to. What is response regarding the X-ray?
So this is the X-ray of abdomen in erect posture, showing dilated loops of bowel on the left side.
What do you see in that X-ray? Is the large X-ray, na? So what is the findings? This is called this is the plain X-ray abdomen, erect posture showing hugely dilated bowel loops arising from the pelvis with convexity upwards. Hugely dilated bowel loops arising from the pelvis with convexity upwards. It's like a pneumatic tire like shadow. Pneumatic kind like shadow. So what is your radiological diagnosis?
Sigmoid volvulus.
Already it is given. It is the sigmoid volvulus. It's the sigmoid volvulus. So what is volvulus? What is volvulus? And what are the types of volvulus? Hello? What is volvulus? What are the types of volvulus?
A volvulus is a twisting or axial rotation of a portion of a bowel about its mesentery.
Yes, eversive mesentery. So what are the types of volvulus?
Sir, primary volvulus, secondary volvulus.
Primary volvulus, secondary volvulus. Okay. Give some example of volvulus, like sigmoid volvulus. Then
So আমার electric
Volvulus
system.
neonaterum, cecal volvulus, secondary volvulus হচ্ছে স্যার compound volvulus, volvulus of the small gut.
so sigmoid volvulus, small bowel volvulus, volvulus neonaterum, gastric volvulus. So these are the example of the. So what are the difference between primary and secondary volvulus? Secondary volvulus easily develops due to rotation of bowel around an acquired adhesion or bowel stoma. And there are some risk factors therefore develop sigmoid volvulus. What are the risk factors for development of sigmoid volvulus?
Sir, bands or additions, then overloaded pelvic colon, long pelvic mesocolon, narrow attachment of pelvic mesocolon.
Yes. So these are the risk factors for development of sigmoid volvulus. So what are the presentation of sigmoid volvulus?
So, abdominal pain, distension, then constipation.
Okay, the most important variant is the easily sudden severe abdominal pain followed by abdominal distension with constipation. Sudden severe abdominal pain followed by abdominal distension with constipation. So what is the initial movement of sigmoid volvulus? Initial movement is the
Nothing peroral.
initial. Okay. It is the initial resuscitation. What we have discussed.
Yes, sir.
So after the diagnosis, what is the treatment option?
We will do flexible sigmoidoscopy and insertion of a flatus tube.
Okay, sigmoidoscopy kore you can decompress it.
Yes, sir.
It is immediate treatment. So what is the definitive treatment?
Sigmoid colectomy or sigmoidopexy.
So sigmoid colectomy. So after that, after resuscitation, the definite treatment is the emergency surgery. You can go for laparotomy, midline infusion. Then if there is volvulus, there's a twisting, so we make it untwist the bowel, untwisting the bowel, and then remove the gangrenous part. That is called resection and anastomosis. The treatment option is the sigmoid volvulus, resection and anastomosis. If condition is favorable, if condition is unfavorable, then what you can do? What are the other treatment options for sigmoid volvulus?
Paul Mikulicz operation, sir.
So you can resect the gangrenous part, and you can allow the both distal and proximal end as a double loop colostomy. This is called Paul Mikulicz operation. And what is the other most commonly done in our hospital? It is the Hartmann's procedure. Hartmann's operation. What is Hartmann operation? So removal of the gangrenous part, and proximal end brought out as a end stoma, and distal stump is closed. This is called Hartmann procedure. Proximal end end colostomy, distal stump closed. So this is called Hartmann procedure. So what are these are the treatment option of sigmoid volvulus. এখন আসো আমরা বলি হোয়াট ইজ ইন্টারসাসেপশন বলো হোয়াট ইজ ইন্টারসাসেপশন
Invagination invagination of one portion of the gut to immediate adjacent segment.
So it is the invasion of the one part of the gut into its immediate adjacent bowel in proximal. So what are types of intersection?
Ileoileal, ileocolic, ileoileocolic, colocolic.
Okay. So what is the usual incidence of intersection? Usual incidence কাদের হয়? Commonly কাদের হয়?
Weaning period.
Usually the infant weaning period, and the most common cause is idiopathic. Usually there is a viral infection. Viral infection, there is a infected respiratory tract, there is a hyperplasia of the pars patches of lymphoid follicle, and that may lead to intersection. So what are the risk factors for elderly people? In case of elderly children, elderly or young or adolescents, there are some present factor like polyp, adenomatous polyp, malignancy, Meckel's diverticulum. These may predispose to intersection in case of elderly or young adolescents. So what are the treatment of intersection?
Reduction by hydrostatic pressure.
Yes. After diagnosis and initial resuscitation, there is a barium enema reaction. This is called hydrostatic reduction with barium enema. If fail or if not reduced, then go for surgery. Clear? So hydrostatic reduction with the barium enema is the initial treatment. If fail or no reduction develop, in that case you can go for surgical treatment. Resection with anastomosis. So what is paralytic ileus? And the important to be paralytic ileus, bolo. Paralytic ileus মানে কি?
Sir, failure of the transmission of peristaltic web, secondary to the neuromuscular failure.
So what are the causes of paralytic ileus?
Infection, post-operative.
Yes.
তারপর স্যার মেটাবলিক কজ হতে পারে ইউরোমিক রিঅ্যাকশন হাইপোক্যালিমিয়া রিফ্লাক্স আইলিয়াস
কি বই থেকে বলতেছে নাকি না কি অমিত না
অনুপম স্যার
অনুপম কি বই থেকে বলতেছে নাকি না
না স্যার আগে পড়া ছিল আমি বাড়িতে স্যার বই নেই
ও বাড়িতে বই নেও নাই
না স্যার
ল্যাপটপ তো আছে ট্যাব তো আছে আচ্ছা রাখ ভেরি গুড অসুবিধা নাই দুষ্টামি করলাম মজা করলাম আর কি সো it is the most common is the paralytic ileus is the post-operative cause infection metabolic uremia hypokalemia reflex ileus follow fracture spine fracture ribs etc. So what is the difference between paralytic ileus and dynamic obstruction আগে বলছি আবার রিপিট করে দিই মনে আছে কিনা বলো বলো
So in case of dynamic obstruction, there will be peristaltic movements proximal to the point of obstruction, but in case of paralytic ileus, there will be no peristalsis.
But the most important clinical feature is the painless. It is a painless abdominal distension. It is the most prevalent feature, followed by vomiting with constipation. It is the painless abdominal distension, dilated ileus. Management is the simple. Management is the simple. It is the treatment, initial resuscitation followed by treatment of cause. So management is easy. Initial resuscitation followed by treatment of cause. What is compound volvulus? बोलो. So listen to me. This is a wide spectrum of topics. It is not easy to summarize in a short period, like the time 1.5 an hour. So it is the at a glance of some topics to give you the some idea regarding the OSCE exam. Though there are some plain essay as well as some contest essay easily given in the OSCE, at least 5 station OSCE, the essay 4 to 5 station. So it is important, and most it is the undergraduate exam. Though mostly common regular problem based investigation is given, X-ray is given, like kidney stone, sigmoid volvulus, barium enema, pneumoperitoneum, intestinal obstruction, pneumothorax, rib fracture, T-tube cholangiogram. So these are this is commonly given X-ray. IBU, some to the IBU, intervenous contrast X-ray, intervenous radiograph, IBU. But it is the undergraduate exam, no, like some to CT scan of brain. It is a CT scan of brain in some cases given. So in case of CT scan of brain with either subdural hematoma or extradural hematoma, it is less commonly given. But along with this, some X-ray of the limb, fracture shaft of the femur, or supracondylar fracture of the humerus. That will be discussed on your orthopedic session. So these are the among them. These are the important X-ray. So the relevant topics also discussed in a short way. It is the time is allocated, and there is some traffic in city. So I also say that I was delayed in attending class 5 minutes possibly due to traffic. So other than this, I'll try my best to give you the some information regarding OSCE, and I will give another class in possibly Friday. Is it possibly Friday? Coming Friday. So in my next class, I will discuss about the operative surgery. Operative surgery, like the most commonly done surgical procedure in our hospital, like appendectomy, hernia surgery, cholecystectomy, colonic surgery, hepatocellular pancreatic malignancy surgery. Some incision regarding this surgery, like Midland incision, Giran incision. So So far we discussed about this today's topics. Anyone have any any question?
স্যার ইউরেমিয়াতে প্যারালাইটিক আইলাস কেন ডেভেলপ করে?
ইউরেমিয়াতে প্যারালাইটিক আইলাস, হোয়াট ওয়াজ ইউরেমিয়া? ইউরেমিয়াতে কি হচ্ছে পেশেন্ট? ইউরেমিয়াতে প্যারালাইটিস হইতে পারে, কেন হইতে পারে চিন্তা করতে দেখি। ইউরেমিয়া মিন্স কি? ইউরেমিয়া তোমার মাথায় কিছু তোমার মাথায় কিছু বুদ্ধি আসতেছে? ইউরেমিয়াতে কেন হয়? ইউরেমিয়াতে কি হয়? What is the urinary, what happen in urinary? Urinary means
স্যার হতে পারে স্যার, মানে রেনাল ফেইলিওরের জন্য হয়তো, সেজন্য আমার মনে হচ্ছে যে হাইপারক্যালিমিয়ার জন্য হতে পারে, যেহেতু হাইপারক্যালিমিয়া হচ্ছে মাসকুলার কন্ট্রাকশন একটা ইম্পর্টেন্ট রোল প্লে করে।
so far my knowledge is concerned, I am not giving the answer, though I am not exactly know the answer. So I think I will give you the answer in next class or in a suitable time. Exact mechanism I don't know. What is the mechanism of uremia, periodic ileus in uremia? Okay.
ওকে স্যার।
Then, so I think this is all about today's class. Inshallah, we'll meet soon for the open surgery. So thank you for patience hearing. Thank you all.